Hey guys, back again with another episode of the Daredevil vlogs with the third episode in this season, called Rabbitini Snowstorm. I don't know why I'm talking like this. I just like talking like this. It's fun. No, I'm not gonna do the full video. Okay, so didn't really like this one. Didn't really care for this one. Yeah, this one, I feel like this one was kind of a step backwards from what I liked about the other two episodes. I mean, it's not terrible. It's very confusing. It's very off-putting, and not in a way that's, like, interesting or anything like it. It just feels... It just doesn't work in the way that it wants to. Okay, so what's it about? So this episode involves, the Kingpin's crony. They don't say it outright, but we all know it's the Kingpin. I don't get why they stretched it out as long as they did. And thankfully, it ends after this episode, which I'm glad, because I was worried they were going to stretch this out to, like, mid-season, which I thought, like, that's such a huge fucking waste of time. But no, the end scene does reveal, like, Vincent D'Onofrio as the Kingpin. So now we can finally stop the whole, who is this mysterious man who's leading all this? We know exactly who it fucking is. I'm not gonna lie, though. I am gonna miss Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin. That movie sucked, but he was so perfect for it, and I loved him in it. I miss Michael Clark Duncan. He was fun. No matter what he did, he always gave it his all. But anyway, I digress. In this one, it starts off very, very brutally. Like, again, this is like the most violent, in terms of just not just the fact that there's violence in it, but the context of the violence that has ever been done in one of these movies before. I mean, anything from Marvel so far, and it's great, and I love how brutal it is, but this one, I don't know. I feel like it was mishmashing different elements, and it didn't really click together. Like, even right off the bat, what happens is, massive spoiler, by the way, is that there's this gang leader who likes to bully in alleys, so he books it by himself, but another guy who claims he wants to bowl, asks to join him, and he says no, so lots of shit happens after that. A massive fight ensues. The guy who asked to... Mr. Healy, that's his name. Mr. Healy, asks to... just kills everyone, including the gang leader, in a massively bloody and very, like, bones are breaking. You can see the bone bumping out. It's fucking gruesome. I was like, holy shit, Marvel okayed this? Okay, I'm perfectly fine with it. It was like, Jesus. But even in that moment, like right before the fight starts, there's this really odd moment of slapstick. Maybe not slapstick, but just kind of wah-wah type humor where Mr. Healy is pointing the gun at the gang leader, and then it flashes back to, like, a few days earlier where they're looking at the new guns, or talking about the new gun, like, they're receiving one of the new guns that Mr. Healy is holding, and he says, yeah, these things are extraordinary. They'll never jam on you. Flash back to present day, click, click, it jams. This is like, okay, it was kind of weird. It just felt very off. It didn't feel right. That's kind of what this whole episode felt like. It didn't really feel right. It felt like it was more just establishing the foundation where they want to build on, but not really continuing anything. Not really growing on what the other two episodes have established. And that's kind of disappointing. This one does introduce Ben Urich. I don't know who plays him. He's kind of older than I pictured Ben Urich playing, but, you know, and I'll give it a shot. I mean, as far as the character, like, the character I thought was fine. I thought the performance of him was good. I liked how he was passionate about telling the real news, but I was very annoyed by how the news industry was portrayed in this one. This one, it really got on my nerves, because what happens is Ben Urich is, of course, like, the real journalist. He wants to go there and say, I want to tell the news. I don't want to tell these fluff stories and blah, blah, blah. And he's telling his publisher about this big conspiracy in Hell's Kitchen. He says, like, oh my goodness, there's this new element in Hell's Kitchen, and all the gamers are freaking out. There's like a whole war going on. We can be the first to make the connection. And the boss just goes, oh, nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about that. Do a piece about how Hell's Kitchen is getting new subway lines. I was like, no one cares about a massive conspiracy and they're bull fucking shit. They don't. This really irritated me because it's like, okay, we lost our shit over tons of, like, the NSA leak, for example. Like, anytime major government documents are leaked, we freak the fuck out. When anything, like, major happens, like, major conspiracy revealed, we lose our shit. You want to tell me there's a huge crime, like, conspiracy in Hell's Kitchen, and no one's gonna give a shit? Fuck you. No. Like, I did not buy that at all. That irritated me. I was sad they went with that cliche. I was like, oh, really? I mean, I get where they're going with it, but I was like, oh, this is, no, somebody would give a shit. I mean, at least enough to sell enough newspapers, not enough to just, it didn't make any sense to me. Anywho, so, but meanwhile, Karen's got her own thing going on, like, she has to, I don't know, really, the bottom line is that United Allies, I think it's what this is called, I'll get the name right eventually, but, like, the company that she used to work for that tried to kill her, wants her to keep her mouth shut about what happened, or they're probably gonna sue her, but she wants to stand up, she wants to stand against them and take them down, so that's where that's going. She goes to Ben Urich and says, I want to tell everything, blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, we'll see if that goes anywhere. Like, that's the problem. It feels like it's setting up, but as of right now, it hasn't really paid off to anything. Maybe it will later, I don't know, but right now, it's kind of like, I don't really care about the subplot right now. It does not matter to me. Maybe I feel like it should focus more on establishing the characters, more than, I don't know, go right into the, we need to expose everything, and blah, blah, blah. And Matt Murdock's motivation in this episode is very confusing, because what happens is, after Mr. Healy kills the guy, the Kingpin's henchman goes to the Murdock office and asks for them to represent their client, Mr. Healy. And at first, for obvious reasons, Matt is very skeptical. He recognizes he's very shady. He's not telling her anything. He says, like, no, I don't want to do this. We should not do this. There's something clearly fishy going on. And then does some things. Oh, no, he follows it and realizes working for a bigger boss. And right there says, okay, I'll do it. I guess it's to get closer to the Kingpin. Right now, I don't know. It's like, he just randomly decides, like, okay, we're gonna take this case now. And, I don't know why. Like, you couldn't just, you couldn't find a better way to get closer to him? I don't know. It didn't make any sense to me. And then, like, Mr. Healy's motivation is even weirder, because, I mean, he's creepy, but for some reason, it's looking like he wants to deliberately lose the case, or like him plus the Kingpin henchman want him to lose the case, or wants him to go to mistrial or something to that effect, instead of actually winning the case, which I feel like would be more beneficial. But this is what they're, I don't know, it's not very well explained. It's very confusing. And I was like, I don't get why they're going this way. I don't get why anyone's doing anything in this episode. Like, this did not make any sense to me. And I just saw myself feeling very confused, and was like, this feels kind of pointless. I guess the only thing we got out of it is that they got a big fat check out over it, and now they're not financially screwed. That's the biggest thing I got out of it, which is, okay, fine. But could you at least try to make the writing a little bit better for it? I mean, the only real thing that came from it was, he has a scuffle with Daredevil at the end, and he reveals Wilson Fisk's name, which most of us already knew already. But then he says, oh no, now that I've said the name, I can't live here. He's gonna track me down. He's gonna kill everyone I care about. And he kills himself by thrusting his head against a metal pike, which is like, Jesus, that was a brutal image. So that part was good. But otherwise, it's like, I don't get everyone's motives here are just so conflicting and so contradictory and so confusing. I don't know. I did not care for it. So, I'm hoping, like, maybe this will be more fleshed out in other episodes. I don't know, maybe, I'm hoping this is just a fluke in the writing, and not just, like, this is just like, okay, we had one bad spurt of writing, but the rest of it is okay. rather than this is kind of like the signal to, oh shit, here we go. But I don't know. I mean, I still like this series. I'm only episode 3. We still got another 10 to go, so I'm sure it's gonna get better. But right now, this was the inevitable slump. This was like the inevitable weak or bad episode that was gonna happen with a series like this. So I guess I'm just glad it's over. I mean, it was good. I liked seeing Matt as a lawyer, and he's a good lawyer, and I liked seeing how he uses Daredevil trick, like his superpowers in the courtroom. I thought, oh, that was nice. I liked the ominous effect of how every time like the Kingpin's henchman was in the room, Matt Murdock would listen to his watch tick. I thought that was good. I thought that was clever. Other than that, though, it's like this was a weak episode. This is disappointing, especially since it was going on such a strong note. So, yeah, I think that about covers it for this episode. So, yeah, next episode. Let's go. Woohoo! Moving right along.